We are currently experiencing a moment in time where, rather than waiting on the vital chain upgrades to enable significant ecosystem developments to commence, the required technology and many of the tools are now very much in place, already in the hands of the builders who are working tirelessly each day to harness the power of Cardano and shape its smart contract landscape, the effects of which can be observed in real time. There really hasn't been a better time to be involved in Cardano, and as the months roll by, each one seemingly spins up more surprises, developments and ecosystem advancements than the last, as we continue to make huge strides towards delivering more utility, community growth and innovation that will ultimately lead to further adoption. With November now very much underway, the progress on this blockchain just doesn't slow, and in fact, things are about to get real busy. We're on the verge of witnessing events with varying levels of impact, but ones that, importantly, are all contributing to the evolution of Cardano. Over the next 4 weeks, we will experience a whole range of interesting developments, and today, we're going to take a look at exactly what is on the horizon. Welcome back for today's installment of Cardano Insights, where we track the all-important developments at the very pulse of Cardano and its ecosystem. So let's get straight into it. So with November now upon us, I thought this would be a great opportunity to recap what we have to look forward to across the next 4 weeks or so, from existing project developments, new entrants soon to be deployed, the Cardano Summit event, right the way through to a little something I'm most excited for, the announcements that will be coming out off the back of IOG's livestream event direct from the lab at the University of Edinburgh, relating to the Decentralization Index. November is packed full of Cardano ecosystem and industry defining developments that will really set the tone for 2023 and beyond. So first up, let's run through some of the project developments and deployments I'm aware of that will be taking place this month. AADA Finance is a project we've discussed in some detail on Cardano Insights, and for good reason. Since entering the Cardano ecosystem, the team at AADA has proven themselves to be extremely reliable, community-focused and highly capable builders intent on innovating as they continue to develop their peer-to-peer lending protocol. Since launching in September, the project has already undergone many improvements to the UI, functionality, and has seen the continuation of their commitment to community governance, with numerous voting rounds relating to platform developments that have already taken place. But this month we'll see the introduction of the lender's request functionality. This opens up an entirely new use case on the platform whereby, in addition to making loan requests, as you can do currently, users will be able to make lender requests, creating loan offerings in the marketplace in a peer-to-peer order book format. Why is this important? Well, this added functionality means that lenders, rather than only being able to fund loans from the marketplace, where the terms have been preset from the borrower's side, the lender will be able to create lender requests specifying their own terms, which will certainly contribute to increasing user activity. The lender request update is currently in the audit phase and expected to be released during November. Lender requests will also be followed by the introduction of auto liquidations, staking and fee sharing for AADA holders, which are the next updates in the pipeline. AADA Finance, in my opinion, is a highly underrated project in the Cardano ecosystem, and there are so many great developments still to come. For instance, the one that I'm most excited for is the emergence of the NFT bond marketplace, where thanks to Cardano's EUTXO model and AADA's innovative NFT bond concept, the protocol will be developing a marketplace that will be integrated into the platform to enable the trading of loan bonds prior to liquidation. This will enable a secondary NFT loan bond marketplace that will be venturing into uncharted territory, a first of its kind. As mentioned previously, throughout 2023 they will focus on the V2 of the protocol, where they'll see the introduction of pooled lending. So if you want to learn more about AADA Finance, check the links in my description below, and as always, we'll continue to track the developments of this project on Cardano Insights. Next up, we recently covered Indigo Protocol, the synthetic assets platform that aims to deliver an on-chain price exposure to real-world assets in the form of I-assets to the Cardano ecosystem. Effectively, they'll be enabling the creation of I-assets for any real-world assets that hold value. With the mainnet launch now imminent and still very much on track for this quarter, the project is currently in the process of carrying out their DAO Kickstart campaign, which consists of 5 phases that are intended to ensure the DAO is fully in place prior to launch. The 4th phase relating to the initial I-asset offering has just been completed, and as you can see here, the community has voted in favour for Indigo to make available IUSD, IBTC and iEthereum at the point of launch. Just recently they conducted a community call to discuss phase 5, which is the launch proposal that will be completed tomorrow, November 4th. So a big announcement will soon follow. In terms of Indigo, everything is seemingly lining up for a November launch, where Cardano will see the introduction of its first synthetics platform that is intending to tokenize everything. Now we turn from the synthetic assets and the stablecoin IUSD to another algorithmic one in the form of Djed. The Cardano community has been in high anticipation for its arrival ever since Charles announced that Djed, developed by IOG and issued by Coty, will be introduced as one of the major stablecoins into the Cardano ecosystem. We have tracked the progress of development very closely on Cardano Insights, and last time we checked in, we're on the understanding that the final audit report would be completed at the end of November, so if all goes well, Djed would then be deployed on mainnet, seemingly more likely for a December launch. However, during the most recent update with Coty CEO Shahaf Bar-Geffen released on Monday, interestingly he explained that whilst there are many moving parts, if all goes well, he'll be presenting a major announcement alongside Charles at the Cardano Summit, November 21st on the main stage, stating, and I quote, "There are two dates to keep in mind, November 18th and probably the more crucial one, November 21st, where a major announcement will take place. You are thinking what I'm thinking, but let's just make sure everything is ready." So it's looking real promising that Djed will be deployed on mainnet this month, joining Redeemable and possibly Indigo's IUSD as one of the three stablecoin offerings available to the Cardano ecosystem. In terms of the summit, it makes sense that such an announcement in terms of the launch of Djed would be fit for the occasion, being the largest Cardano-focused event worldwide. Let's see how it all pans out, but it definitely seems Djed is real close now. Now to a project that is a main feature on Cardano Insights. It was only a few days back that we delved into their newly released Roadmap 2.0, and it would be impossible not to briefly discuss World Mobile on a video surrounding what we have to look forward to in Cardano for the month of November. Now whilst this is by no means confirmed, as we know the Aerostat launch is firmly in the hands of the authorities in Tanzania, a little speculation never hurt anyone, right? If we take a moment to reflect on the 2022 Q4 milestones, which includes a sizable increase to airnodes deployed in Zanzibar, Android mobile app V1 release, Earthnode testnet launch, the first business-to-business and business-to-consumer paying customers connected in Tanzania, and of course the big one being the first Aerostat launch in Zanzibar, I think it's fair to say it's extremely likely we'll be witnessing major developments here, considering the month of November is the penultimate month of Q4. Now whilst it's by no means confirmed, considering how close in collaboration IOG are working with World Mobile and the fact their missions are so tightly interconnected, I wouldn't be surprised to see World Mobile making a very special appearance with equally special announcements being made at the summit later this month. Now, I might be way off here. In terms of the announced speakers, Mickey or any World Mobile representation for that matter hasn't been confirmed, and I'm pretty sure Mickey suggested on a recent community call that they wouldn't be attending the event due to logistical commitments. As you can imagine, it's an extremely busy time for the project. But they are World Mobile, connectivity is their game, so I guess if there is some mammoth news to report, they could always beam live and direct from wherever they are in the world to deliver something huge. Let's wait and see how this progresses. Irrespective of developments specifically coming out of the summit, with all that's planned for Q4, I'm sure some of those milestones from the roadmap will indeed be met and announced throughout November, and as always, we'll be tracking every move World Mobile makes right here on Cardano Insights. Next we turn to Optim Finance, another project with big potential in the Cardano DeFi space that recently featured on the channel. In their V1 release, Optim will be introducing the SPO liquidity bond market to the Cardano ecosystem at launch, which is planned for Q4 2022. Initially, the protocol will enable SPOs to borrow AADA staking rights and rewards for a fixed term, effectively helping to decentralize Cardano, assisting small pools to become more sustainable whilst they build their marketing presence. So with the public testnet already live and confirmed on October 26th, there's a great possibility they too will be introduced to the Cardano ecosystem and deployed on mainnet later this month. Today at 4 PM GMT, which by the time this video airs would have already taken place, Optim will be conducting a community call to discuss updates as they move from the preview to pre-production testnet, a sign that mainnet is now drawing nearer, and the date of which could well be announced on today's Twitter space. For a full look at Optim Finance, check the video linked in my description below, and as we try to do with all projects in the ecosystem, we'll continue to follow progress here very closely. Now to a project that has gone from strength to strength, very fast out the gates and just hasn't looked back, well and truly set to revolutionise the ebook industry with their DEAs, Book.io went very quickly from a concept to a hugely impactful project that is not only making waves throughout the Cardano NFT scene with sellout mints and massive volume in terms of the secondary market sales, they've also attracted the investment from industry giants such as the Ingram Content Group, who are the world's leading book distributor, and venture capital firm BDMI, who are a subsidiary of the global media conglomerate Bertelsmann. But if you found the recent announcements of the Ingram Content Group and BDMI impressive, then wait until you see what's coming next. The team at Book have confirmed that a further announcement will be made in November that they believe is of equal significance, if not the biggest of all, and going by the fact that both prior announcements were of an extremely high caliber, I'm both massively excited and highly confident this next one will not disappoint. We'll be sure to bring you the development here as soon as it's released, yet another huge Cardano project development update in the making and coming to us in November. Next to something that personally I think may well prove to be the most exciting or at least most impactful development breaking in November, because it not only holds significance for Cardano but the wider blockchain industry as a whole. I've continued to cover developments here ever since Charles originally announced IOG's intentions to open a lab at the University of Edinburgh to specifically formulate a standard or index that will measure decentralization of all cryptocurrencies. As mentioned on an episode last week, during the latest Cardano 360, Tim Harrison confirmed IOG will be running a special livestream event right before the Cardano Summit on the 18th and 19th of November, direct from the IOG lab at the University of Edinburgh. With some extremely big announcements promised featuring special guests, a keynote from Charles, and over 20 sessions outlining some of IOG's achievements from the past 5 years, along with additional updates on everything IOG is building as we head into the age of Voltaire, this event is going to be a very big deal indeed, that as a result has the potential to change the crypto landscape as we know it across the months and years thereafter. The significance of the creation of a decentralization index, one that Charles himself explained that regulators have already shown a keen interest in adopting themselves to assist in the process of building regulation, for an industry in great need of realizing a universal understanding to as how decentralization should be measured, is huge. Whilst large parts of the blockchain industry probably have no clue or are not the least bit interested that the EDI is actively being developed, the subsequent impact, however, will have significant consequences and should not be underestimated. Professor Agalos, chief scientist at IOG and the chair in cybersecurity and privacy at the University of Edinburgh, tweeted this today: "Decentralization is the fundamental concept underpinning all blockchain systems. What does it mean though, and how to measure it?" Linking this new systemization paper that outlines the layered approach they are taking to measuring blockchain decentralization. Here they outline how by dissecting blockchain systems into multiple layers, each that may also encapsulate multiple categories, will enable a unified method for measuring decentralization in each one. The layers will include hardware, software, network, consensus, economics, which relates to tokenomics, API, governance, and geography. By using the data from this analysis, they can examine each layer to understand which properties of the distributed ledgers may be at risk due to centralization and in what way. I believe this work being carried out will overlap with the work being undertaken at the IOG's lab at the University of Edinburgh. It doesn't surprise me that it's IOG who are the ones responsible for this kind of forward thinking in terms of working towards the creation of this index, and yet another example of their wider contribution to the blockchain space. Very interesting times ahead. In the not so distant future, we'll be able to see how all blockchains fare in terms of decentralization, and finally, we'll have some form of universal clarity in terms of the levels of blockchain decentralization, and importantly, all chains will then have a reference point to further improve this. The event itself also promises many other big announcements and great content, so make sure you tune in, but as always, I'll be sure to cover the event in full on this channel. Finally today, and to a November event that I think everyone in the Cardano community is looking forward to. Just over 2 weeks away, the Cardano Summit promises to be even bigger than last year's event, which saw the introduction of smart contracts, the partnership with Dish, the announcement of Djed's development, various keynotes, and interactive community activities like the collection of NFTs in the Cardano world with Terra Virtua. Development in Cardano and its ecosystem has come on a very long way since last year's summit, from the tech rollout and Vassal hard fork, the number of working protocols now deployed to mainnet, right through to the huge increase in terms of development activity taking place in the ecosystem. All of this and more is going to be showcased across the 2-day event. Day 1 on November 20th will be focused on those building Cardano, with various presentations surrounding the tech and build out of Cardano's core technology. This will include updates with a look at Mithril, input endorsers and those all-important SIPs, Hydra, Lace Wallet, and I believe a far more in-depth look at the structure, framework and timelines for the implementation of the members-based organisation. Charles also mentioned a very special surprise for the community will also be announced here. Day 1 is going to be action-packed and capped off in the evening with the Cardano Summit Awards ceremony, where individuals and projects will be celebrated for their contributions to the growth of the ecosystem. Day 2, November 21st, will be dedicated to community projects building on Cardano, presented live on the Summit main stage, featuring workshops, presentations, panels, and a few more surprises. Day 2 promises to be an extremely insightful viewing, and we get to hear in more detail about all the innovative DeFi projects that are coming to our ecosystem. What I'm most looking forward to in terms of Day 2 is the tuning live to the speakers we in the community have voted for that we'll be presenting on the main stage. If you want to check out who will be presenting in each speaker category, I've linked the page in the description, or just head on over to the Cardano Summit website. If you aren't attending the event in person, make sure you register now for the free virtual event to ensure you get your access link in advance of the summit. So that just about does it for this mini roundup of the project developments, deployment, big announcements and events that we have coming to Cardano and its ecosystem for the month of November. Be sure to let me know in the comments if I've missed anything. As the year plays out, we have a few more big arrivals still to come in December, and of course the fallout off the back of all the developments from all of this November activity. So that's it for today's installment of Cardano Insights, as we keep track of the developments and continue to spread those positive Cardano vibes. If you found value in the content and want to help the channel fit as many new subscribers in one video transaction, then please be sure to comment, share, like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, which is the best way you can help support the channel. We'll be back soon with your daily roundups. Until then, thanks for watching, have a great day, and as always, keep it Cardano.